we've talked about how COVID-19 has driven change in digital and technological innovation. Our next speaker is the president and CEO of Legal & General America's insurance division, which includes companies Banner Life Insurance, William Penn Life Insurance Company. He's responsible for all the day-to-day operations. Prior to joining Legal & General, he was the co-founder of CoverWise. He comes to us from the UK. He's now living in the US. He has a lengthy bio here. Mark, I'm just not going to read it because candidly, it may take up a good 15, 20 minutes, but you've done so much. Thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President and CEO of Legal & General America, Mark Holweger.
Well, thank you very much, Dan, and thank you for inviting me to talk at NAILBA. Like you, I'm working from home just outside DC, our capital. And what I wanted to talk about today is sort of how our world has changed as a result of COVID. I'm going to look in general the first initial impacts of COVID on our industry, but then specifically looking at how it's affected BGA. So my observation of dealing across the United States, talking to lots and lots of our BGA customers, and also how it's affected the carriers and what the future looked like. So when the sun is shining, people are pretty damn happy. And I think to a certain extent, pre-COVID, the sun had been shining on the industry for some time. As Chad had said, if you look at Q1 numbers, LIMRA was saying how we were up 8% in Q1. So for many BGAs, why move your sun lounger? And I think a lot were thinking, do you know what? I'm going to see dark clouds coming on the horizon, so I'm going to have plenty of time to change. I, along with many others, including yourself, Dan, would be at industry events and we'd talk and we'd tell people how we're observing other industries. We're talking about how consumers' buying behaviors were changing in a digital world. And the way we would manufacture and how we would actually deal with customers was going to change. I do think some people in the audience thought, I do get that. I hear what you're saying. However, right now, my lounger is working really nicely. The sun is right on me. I'm fine for a few more years. And hell, do you know what? I'm probably going to retire before I have to sort of do anything different and make change. And I'm going to leave that change to someone else to have to invest and spend the money. Now, saying that, I think even I didn't think things were going to change this rapidly. I thought, yes, over the next few years. What COVID has done, though, it's made change happen in days. And I do not see us ever going back to the way we used to operate. And some have moved their sunbeds. And if we look across the United States, we see in some industries, and also in our own industry, people really being effective and literally basking in the opportunity, because that's the reality of it, is change delivers opportunity. Whereas we see others literally dashing around, covering their heads with the rain pouring down on top of them, wondering, where do I go? So when I talk about that rain coming down and the effect of COVID, what did it do in our industry? And as Chad mentioned, we've not seen a reduction in demand for life insurance. In fact, we've seen a surge in demand, especially from March onwards. The main challenge I've seen is access, the ability of customers to actually get cover and get life insurance. Now, if I look at the broker distribution, the initial challenge was around the face-to-face aspect of how brokers deal with customers. The stay-at-home orders resulting in the need to work from home. Operating virtual businesses at scale, it was never planned for. It was not part of people's business continuity plans, really. And there was a huge reliance on mail and paper, and certainly no contactless applications really in general circulation. I also noticed certain distributions were very reliant on certain industries. For example, banking. And as we know, the banking industry has been really hard hit by COVID and their ability to pivot. And with some of these distribution partners, I've seen numbers down 10, 20% or more in actual applications coming in through their channels. And I think this is, as yet again, Chad spoke about, huge opportunity though, because there are new opportunities for BGAs to develop new partnerships with new types of distribution channels. The other big challenge was, well, you might actually be able to talk to a customer about life insurance and convince them to buy it, but it never goes on cover because the process of getting fluids from someone is far from contactless and uninvasive underwriting. In fact, I don't think we could get much more invasive. And exams and APSs have become a real challenge. On the exam side, as I say, we've seen customers are really reluctant to have exams, and that's if they can have exams, especially in the hotspot areas. And with regard to APSs, often yet again, we're dealing with other industries which are struggling to pivot to the new working environment. So APSs have become a real challenge. Now for the carriers, as per BGAs, the initial challenge was around the ability to pivot to home working whilst maintaining operational effectiveness. No point everybody going home, but you can't actually do any business. I'm going to do a slight plug for Legal in General. Hopefully I'll be allowed. But I was so proud how we pretty much instantaneously pivoted to 96% of our people working from home. And we maintained 100% operational effectiveness. And I'd have to say, I have to be grateful as well to my group who've invested in our US business. And we've been investing in technology now for a number of years. And that enabled us to pivot in this environment. The next challenge was for carriers who did not have digital platforms and the ability to trade digitally. It was all about contactless touch points. Leveraging digital journeys and options was key. And then probably the biggest challenge, just to top it all off, was the reliance in our industry on the need, as I said, for these physical exams. So just like the BGAs, we are in it together, and we were both experiencing these issues. So innovation was needed fast, and some had already been moving. So what were we seeing, and what have we seen? Well, across the board, either BGAs or carriers, those who are winning, and some are really winning, pivoted to creating virtual businesses, using technology for all forms of operating. And it's beyond home working. You've got to obviously make sure your people can actually operate from home. But as we said, it's what we're doing today. It's using Teams, Zoom, Skype, other mechanisms. And in fact, it's created a bigger opportunity. We now at Legal in General, we used to have a Legal in General America Insurance Town Hall. We now have Legal in General group town halls on a monthly basis across our entire business, across the globe, across all our different areas, where now people get to see senior leaders not once every 2 or 3 years when somebody jumps on a jet and flies across the Atlantic. They can see them monthly because we can do it so seamlessly and easy, sharing best practice. I spoke about digital platforms, and L&G, we deployed our platform 3 months earlier than initially planned. And our competitors, likewise, as Chad said, have really been pushing the boundaries, trying to put in place full digital journeys. But those who have not got that, they've worked with extended ecosystems, other third-party suppliers, to try and build digital solutions into their journeys, which I think is just a positive for all. This has allowed BGAs away from needing the face-to-face meetings with customers, where they can do as much as possible online. But what is important is the BGAs are also investing with new platforms to make sure we can seamlessly connect our systems. At L&G, we've been really surprised and truly surprised just how many BGA customers are willing to complete the entire journey online as we've deployed our digital platform. 76% of BGA customers are completing entirely online when they are sent a link. 38% are doing it on their smartphone. And 23% of those within 24 hours. Before, brokers would often tell me when I was at conferences, you're always going to have to talk to a customer because it's a complex process. Not anymore. Carriers have challenged those journeys. And now they're simple and easy to do. So yes, there will always, though, be times when you will maybe have to talk to customers, but I think it'll be a minority of times, not the majority. It will be about balance. There to help when they're needed, but then it allows you to focus on more productive things. What are you going to do differently to attract new customers? Since many aspects are going to be done by the customer online. Lower costs, giving you the ability to invest elsewhere, but where? One thing you've got to avoid, though, is the pitfall of trying to force old ways of working into the new, just to try and justify that job. I think there will be some tough decisions. Yes, there is going to be work to be done, but it will be different, and you need to adapt your businesses to meet those different needs. Contactless underwriting. We've seen significant move forward looking for alternatives to exams. Electronic health records, companies like Human API and Wamba, we're all dealing with now, utilizing other data sources to make good underwriting decisions. I'm constantly talking to my SVP of Actuarial and Underwriting, Troy Thompson, telling me, yes, Troy, I know the challenges, I need solutions. Because the reality of it is, it's going to be table stakes. This is going to be table stakes using alternative data. And these alternative data sources, and including APS as an exam, they're going to be built into digital journeys with the aim of everything happening seamlessly at once, giving faster decisions to get customers on cover. With the continued challenges around infection, because like you, I'm watching the news every day in the US, and the reality of it is we've got a real challenge here to get those numbers down. So I don't think we're going to be going backwards. This change is here to stay. So the future. Chad spoke about investment in our industry. InsurTech has become one of the fastest growing segments in fintech. Intelligence process automation is the next generation for us all. McKinsey reckons 70% of the current tasks can be automated, which will have a big impact on how we all work and the roles both the carriers and new FBGAs are going to require. Customers will expect to be able to deal digitally with fast, efficient processes and simple, easy to understand. Continuous underwriting, simplified underwriting, AU, can increase the customer likelihood to buy insurance by up to 50%. Conversion needing explanations? I'm not sure about the future. Will it even exist in the future? We've already seen companies withdraw from offering GL products. My view is term life should be simple, and that is the direction of travel. We're seeing new entrants, seeing this opportunity coming into the market. They're employing different skills and capabilities. And you are a car manufacturer now, you're not looking for people who can build petrol engines. You want people who can build electronic engines connected with AI to cars, which are continuously updating themselves. So what does this change mean for you and the people you employ? Over the last 12 months, our biggest area of recruitment in legal in general has been technology and data science. I would suggest for BGAs, a lot of the process is going to be automated. You will not need lots of case managers. It will be the exception. You will need other skills. The need gap for life insurance, as Chad said, it grew actually by 16% in 2020, which so far would suggest there are 41 million consumers needing life insurance, needing agents, BGAs. Are you geared up to speak to them? Getting the top talent and the right skills, though, will you be able to attract them? We recently did our annual employee survey. It has an overall score for how motivated and happy are people. We've always scored pretty good. We get 76% of our people saying they are really happy to work for Legal in General. It's a very strong score. We're very proud of it. And I tell you, boy, is it tough to move it 1 point. We said, oh, we'll try and get 77 this year. And we'd have all these meetings and sessions and work groups, and crikey, it'd be so tough. Then comes COVID. We maximize technology. We move people to home working. Our score last week, it's a biannual one, we scored 84% of our people are now really happy. So what does that mean for you as brokers? The people you are trying to keep and recruit want to work from home. Is your model geared for that long term? If not, you might find it's a limited pool. So the sunbeds have moved, I think, forever. Customers' expectations have changed for good. It's about data, digital journeys, new ways of working, and capabilities. Well, that's until the next big challenge hits us. So let's make sure we're not one stuck with the rain pouring down on us, and we've already moved. And on that note, I would like to say thank you for your time. And I am now going to pass back to Dan. Dan, over to you.
Mark, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to have you in the industry and your leadership at Legal & General America. I've really personally enjoyed getting to know you and your team at Legal & General. So your time is really appreciated with NAILBA. And of course, the support from Legal & General is fantastic. You guys are a fantastic operation. And I look forward to visiting your home office soon.